Sneakers and Cleats, the podcast.
Addicted to love.
Well, welcome back to the Sneakers and Cleats
well
podcast. It is Monday, September 8th. I'm just going to keep going through the conversation. This is episode 224. I'm Matt Roy, Chuck Miketinac, Don Harris, Bob, Luis. Got the whole gang.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien. Grazie.
Sí.
Grazie.
SAP button on our device is really going off kilter right now. What's going on, guys? Don, how's everything going?
Sleepy today after the Sunday night football game.
I didn't watch a second of it.
Really?
Actually, sorry. I watched the first drive. I was doing mornings today.
We were here till 1 a.m.
I got up at 2:30, so I feel you.
Fun game, though.
Yeah, I woke up. I had the game on while I was sleeping, and so I woke up, and it was 27-13, and then the next time I woke up, I heard Mike Tirico saying, the game of the year in Buffalo as the Bills win 41-40, and I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I watched some of it, but not the most meaningful part of it. It was on Twitter late at night, and I was like, no, that didn't happen. Somebody's trying to goof me. Sure enough, it happened.
They're trying to pull one over?
Yeah.
Hey, Louise, can you change the super
X,
down there?
formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, or X, formerly known as Twitter.
By the way, and I know you guys want to get into this today, but in popularity of the NFL, I was listening to a radio show this morning, and they were talking about the excitement level being lower in Dallas for Cowboys than they can remember, and it's because they've lost for 31 years, haven't really been to the playoffs. Where in Philadelphia, they were so excited about the kickoff of the season. And I don't know if you saw the Nielsen numbers of the Sunday night or the Thursday night game, Cowboys-Eagles in San Antonio, but it's about half of what we were used to. And it's slowly been, chipping away a point year by year. A 25 used to be the norm, and then it was like in the early 20s and then 18s. Do you think it's just general people are watching less television, or do you think Cowboy fans are souring on the team so much that there's – because we used to say it's a better story when they lose. Even when they lose, they're just as good a story, and the numbers are just as good. I was shocked to see, and I'm anxious to see what the numbers are around the league all weekend long.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know what that overall number for the Cowboys was because they had the delay and all that. But, yeah, shocking to think season opener against the world champs. But still, 14, 15 rating is nothing to sneeze at in today's day and age.
I just think that those numbers are just outdated. Like, I would guarantee you there was 40, 50 million people watching that game on Thursday. But it's not going to be reflective in the numbers because they're outdated on how they are found. Like they don't take into account YouTube TV.
Yeah,
like
ComScore is much better than Nielsen.
Yes, exactly.
Or Peacock, too.
Yeah, exactly. With all the streaming services, and Paramount is how you get your CBS now. And if I'm watching Red Zone, it's not taking into account that. It's just I want to watch other stuff while I watch the Cowboys. So
I think Telemundo simulcasting the game too. So yeah, I mean it's really hard to know.
It's hard to know
based on the data and the way it's dispersed.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, let's get into our rundown here. So remember, download, rate, review, subscribe to the News 4 Fox SA YouTube channels, and get us on your favorite podcast app. It helps us out a lot. We're going to talk a lot about football today. Good, bad, and ugly from week one. I think we all saw a lot of good, bad, and ugly yesterday, especially when it comes to scoring points. I think unders were 11 and 2 yesterday. When you look across
gambling talk.
So a lot of ugly offense yesterday across the league. The Alamo Dome was rocking on Saturday. Third largest attended game in history, 2 of which have now been against the Texas State Bobcats. And Texas State came into the Dome and beat UTSA for the first time in school history this weekend. So we'll talk all about that. Plus, want to start with the Friday news dump of all news dumps from the Spurs. About 5:15 on Friday, they announced that Dylan Harper is going to miss all of training camp and has hurt his thumb. He tore a ligament in his shooting thumb and had surgery on Friday, injured it on Wednesday in a scrimmage. So talk all about that. Want to ask you guys first, 224 area code, anybody know?
224 is it's the little brother to 312. Chicago area.
There you go. I was just waiting for you to say it. It's Chicago.
It's kind of like San Antonio has the 512 and the 2 and the.
Well, 512 is mostly Austin, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a breaking the 8 number.
When I was a kid, ours was 512.
Oh, really?
And then 830 became used to be Kerrville, and then that kind of got into Bernie, and now it's kind of.
Yeah, 830 is the Bernie area.
All of them.
All right, let's get to the Dylan Harper stuff. So, kind of a surprising news since this is kind of the off time of not really paying attention to too much basketball. We get the update from Shams, who tweets it out about 2 minutes before the Spurs put it out. Take that for what you will. Dylan Harper was having a workout on Wednesday, hurt his thumb, had surgery on Friday for the torn ligament in his left thumb, which is his shooting hand. Since he's one of that 10% in America who's left-handed, he will be out for all of training camp, pretty much. Possibly be out to start the season. Don, anything else you can tell us? What do you want to give us your thoughts?
They came back. Some of the young guys have been in the gym, but they decided as a group to come back and play 5-on-5 last week. I think it started last Tuesday, and so the second day. I think I picked up your phone by accident.
Dude, you got a burner phone.
Yeah, how many phones we got here?
Yeah.
Don looked it up.
I cheated.
Don looked up the area code.
Yeah. I was
Damn.
kind
All
of.
right. Full disclosure, you got
Wow.
the answer right. Whatever it takes.
Man,
You're not cheating. You're not trying.
that's right. So they came back last Tuesday,
Cheater.
and Wednesday, second day of 5-on-5, he breaks his thumb or dislocates it, whatever they tore ligament. But here's the takeaway: better that happens now than later, right? Rookie, it's not good for a rookie because rookies have a learning curve anyway. The good news is that from what I'm told, Wemby looks fantastic, and the MVP in these open gyms is Stefan Castle, who I was told looks like he's ready to be an all-star. So, for what that's worth. But Wemby looks good, coming back from all that time off. I guess we just kind of thought he would, but I was a little concerned because he's been everywhere but in a gym, it seems.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
But apparently he's ready to go. He's in shape and playing well.
Chuck, any worry about Dylan Harper and Dylan's shooting hand?
No, it's not a knee, so that's the good thing, right?
True.
I mean, you can still go through the motions at training camp, even if your hand's in a sling or in a splint or whatever it is. So, there can be worse problems to have as we sit here September, the first week of September, second week, whatever it is.
Too many hand injuries for the Spurs between Fox's pinky and Dylan Harper's thumb. We just don't want to see all that. I am a little. I mean, it's probably nothing, but it does worry me and it would worry me if I was a Spurs fan that this is now his second injury. If we count the minor groin strain in summer league, maybe they were just saying that to hold him out of a certain amount of games or shutting him down in summer league. Can take that for what you will, but it is his second injury since he's been drafted in the last 6 months. So it's or 4 months. So it's a little concerning in that case.
Could be. You never know. It could be just a fluke. But yeah, he may be injury prone. He may just be a fluke injury.
Yeah, I mean, he's a young guy, so some of this for him is figuring out, and for the Spurs to figure out how to build him up, right? He's still growing in a lot of ways, mentally and physically. So, yeah, I think you can read a little too much of this during the summertime. And fingers and hand injuries on basketball players, man, that's Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's a
in the
good
NBA.
thing, though, that in San Antonio we have Dr. Green, who is the author of Dr. Green's book of hand surgery. He is he wrote the book that every kid He literally wrote the book that every doctor who goes to medical school who wants to perform hand surgeries, that's the textbook. And I'm sure he's probably not performing the surgeries in San Antonio, but I don't even know if he's practicing anymore. But his practice is right here over on Spurs Lane.
I'm not concerned about the injury. If he misses a game or two, that would suck because you want to. That was the big draw on opening night. Was in Dallas 1 versus 2 opening picks against each other, or top picks against each other. What I am concerned though is that all the time he's going to miss in training camp is now time that they're going to have to tack on to getting to know everybody on the floor and getting to know how to play together during the season. And you don't want to see those growing pains during the season. You want to work some of those out in the preseason. And we already have De'Aaron Fox and Steph Castle and Wemby learning how to play together because all of those guys didn't really get on the court very much together last year. Now you add in Dylan Harper, who's another piece to this puzzle, and you're not going to get to work out some of those kinks before the season now, which is unfortunate.
True that, but I mean, some of this is they're all playing basketball together and they're learning some of that stuff now before they even get to camp. So you don't know how far along he was in that process, but it is tough for all players in the NBA when you come in as a rookie, right? You have to learn the lay of the land. You have to learn to play well with the others that are put in with you. So, you're right. There's very few positives you can take away when you think about somebody missing time away or valuable time, optimum time with the others on your team.
Yeah, let's get to a little bit of football here. Texas State beats UTSA 43-36 in the Alamo Dome. It's the Bobcats' first win in the Alamo Dome against UTSA. Obviously, they won last year as well, but that one was in San Marcos. Thoughts on the I-35 showdown as a game, and before we get to a little bit of what GJ and Coach Traylor said?
My takeaway, I watched the whole game, was I think to outsiders or those who don't pay attention much, you go, oh, man, UTSA is losing to Texas State. I got a couple of texts like that. And my takeaway is don't sleep on Texas State. That's not an indictment on UTSA. That's a good football team. That's a really good football team. And UTSA can still go on to have a really good season. Texas State has put together themselves a roster. They're big up front. Mm-hmm. They're physical. I don't think they have the skill guys. The Bo Sparks and the Brad Jacksons are, I think you would characterize them as scrappy, like they could be a really scrappy kid playing for Army maybe, something like that. But they've got the big people, and those guys are good enough and fast enough to give you problems. And UTSA had some busts that I think was their biggest issue. And, 4 or 5 big plays changed that game with pass interference here or there. But Texas State's a good football team. That's what I came away with. They're really good.
Yeah, I mean, what we talked about last week, GJ's a sorcerer, man. You don't know coach. What they're going to do, and it was hard to bet for them, and that's why I think we both said let's stay away from this one because of what UTSA put on tape against Texas A&M. So with that in mind, looking at Texas State's schedule, how do you not think big now for them? Because that was their Super Bowl in a lot of ways in terms of, on paper, that's going to be their toughest game of the year. I mean, we might be talking about Texas State long into late November this year.
They do play
and beyond.
They do play Arizona State this weekend. So I don't know if that was their toughest game of the year against the UTSA.
Didn't you guys lose this weekend?
I don't want to really talk about that, but we yes.
No more scatterboo.
That's right.
Okay.
Man, he looked good though, didn't he?
Give me 30 seconds on ASU real quick. No, I'm just kidding. They busted coverage, lost that game for him. They lost that game in the first half. So anyway,
Texas. Are we talking Texas State? Maybe like last year's SMU and end up in a playoff, in a 12-team playoff.
They would have to go 12-0 to get to a playoff in Conference USA. So.
I'm just telling you.
Or in the Sun Belt, excuse me.
Yep.
Anyway, let's listen to what Jeff said after the game. This is Jeff Traylor, head coach of the UTSA Roadrunners.
It stings, and the key will be, we've got a decent little team. Are we going to let the outside noise get to us and break us down? Or are we going to find out about ourselves and rally like we've done every year we've been here? But this one's going to sting for a while. But our kids are matching them. I don't think we were overpowered. I think we've got more in the tank than we showed, honestly.
I think there's more in the tank than they showed as well, but it does suck that they lost the game because it feels like a lot of the goodwill that they got from the Texas A&M loss, which I think we all came away very impressed with how UTSA played in that game, defensively and offensively. They got pushed around up front on defense, and their corners could not keep up with the skill guys at Texas State. And Brad Jackson, tip of the cap to him, the Reagan alum, San Antonio product, had a hell of a game.
Where did he come from? He just played his senior year at Reagan. Do we know his backstory?
Yeah, I forgot it, but he was at a bigger high school before.
In Texas?
Yeah, in Texas. He's been
like
Texas
Houston
through and through.
Or somewhere?
No, he was in the area. I'll look it up when you guys start talking.
what I thought fascinating about Brad Jackson was even last year when GJ was talking about his quarterbacks, unasked, he was talking about Brad Jackson. Like he'd throw his name out there in the mix of all the guys that were even playing, basically saying, hey, don't go to sleep on this guy. I mean, he can not only run, which is predominantly what he did the best when he was at Reagan, but he can spin it too. And
Cypress Creek.
there were a couple of really remarkable runs that he had, like foot in the ground stuff that didn't look like your average quarterback when he was getting upfield. So, I mean, that's a hell of a game to put on tape as a redshirt freshman to come out of nowhere and basically take the world by storm like they did in that game. I mean, if you'd have told me that game was going to be a shootout like that, there's no way I would ever thought
I mean, the over-under was 65.5, 64.5, so I would have believed it was going to be a shootout, and at least that was the general perception of it. But the way that UTSA got just torched on the back end, anytime they needed a stop, they couldn't get one. Anytime UTSA scored, Texas State came out and tossed another touchdown or tossed a 50-yard gain. There was no moment in that game where I was like, I feel really confident UTSA is going to win. There was no moment. And that's not generally something you can say about UTSA, especially when they're at home. 29-3, now 29-4 at home under Jeff Traylor. You always know or have some inkling in your head that they're going to pull this game out. And
defense has been their strong suit.
Yeah.
And we knew going into this year, we kept saying, the question mark's going to be the D because
they lost all 11 starters.
All 11 new guys. And look, I think they've got some talent around there. I think there was some confusion and some miscommunication. I mean, those guys were running free by 20 yards a few times. Martin's interference on fourth down, that was a huge play, could have changed the game. Not getting the fourth and goal early in the game in the first quarter where Peterson was stoned at the 1 yard line, that was a huge play of the game. It's a very winnable game for UTSA.
But then they stopped Texas State on the 1 yard line. So at
He's one of the toughest competitors I've ever been around. His character, and those are all, intangible things. I'm talking about his physical ability to be able to throw and run and all that, all the off the field stuff, and he's just an unbelievable person. And Texas State should be proud to have someone like that be the face of the program.
I'll tell you what, Jackson made an NFL throw, at least one, if not a couple NFL throws in that game. But the one where he's stepping up in the pocket, two guys are rushing him in his face, and then off platform tosses it 55 yards in the air on a dime into the bread basket of the guy running down the right sideline was one of the best throws I've seen from a local quarterback.
Very impressive.
It was a dot, and he put that thing on a rope. So that was one of the most impressive things I saw in that entire game.
Yeah, his grit, his competitiveness, you could tell. I mean, he's one of those guys you want on your team. He reminded me of that Army quarterback from last year.
Oh, Bryson Daly?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody, who was it the other day? Somebody was like, oh, Army's dead without Bryson Daly. I was like, yeah, maybe. Plus, then the local guy got hurt, Coleman, or Dwayne Coleman, is that his name? Something like that.
Dwayne?
Anyway, yeah, something like that. Anyway.
Kid from Roosevelt.
Right. That's who I'm talking about. All right, let's get to the NFL here. So, takeaways from across the league here, guys. A lot of really good football was played. A lot of really bad football was played. Yesterday, the one game that took me by surprise the most was probably the Jets and Steelers game being a shootout.
Right.
I don't know who had that on their bingo card with Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers finding the fountain of youth there. But I want to talk about the Texans first. Texans, Rams. Chuck, give me your 2 cents.
Well, it was hard for Houston to get going, right? I mean, especially in the second half because they were moving the ball pretty well in the first half, and then they started losing offensive linemen. One, we don't know what the status is on, and then so they started to mix and match. Obviously, they didn't score any points in the second half, but I thought it was fascinating. C.J. Stroud said after the game that he kind of alluded to the fact that they really didn't practice very well in the week leading up to, and he called it a wake-up call, so I would suspect that it is after week one. Not a very good performance for the offense, for sure.
Thoughts, Don, on the Texans and on the week one football in general?
I was a little disappointed in the Texans. I thought they'd be better. I thought they could win that game. But then I think, was it Rich Eisen I heard who picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl? So I guess the Rams are supposed to be pretty good. You got to give credit to that landman guy for punching it out. I thought it was interesting after the game that Stafford said, that doesn't surprise me. He's been doing that to all of us all training camp. In fact, he said in the locker room today he was going to get one. So I guess he does that. He just runs around punching the ball. And, man, was that timely.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, credit to them.
Chuck, your Packers are really good. And Micah, decent performance in game one after only being there for about a week.
Yeah, they had him on a pitch clock. But, yeah, when he was in there, he was really disruptive. I mean, they had the interception because he'd beaten his man and was getting ready to barrel down on the quarterback. And, I mean, anytime you hold the Lions to, a garbage touchdown at the end of the game, that's a pretty darn good day. But I think the real story, probably lost on all the Micah stuff, is that Edgerrin Cooper out of Texas A&M is one hell of a football player. He led the team in tackles all over the field. He looks like he's an absolute steal where they got him in the middle rounds. I mean, and if I'm not mistaken, I mean, he's ranked in the top 3 or 4 in terms of how he graded out last year. So we may have a star in the making that doesn't have the name Micah Parsons on his jersey.
Well, let's listen to a little bit of what Micah said after the game about getting on the field finally after all this drama behind him.
This last 6 months was super draining, super toxic for everyone. I mean, it's something that, I don't think no player should have to go through. I think players' fate should be decided earlier. I think the fact that I was traded a week before the season, it was really outrageous and rough. It's something where I could have been with these guys getting better and better. And we could have had probably even more dominant start, if that was the decision we were going to make. So I'm just happy that's behind. These guys embrace me. They believe in my talents. They believed in me, and I'm just going to give these guys everything I have because I know what's at stake. I know what they gave up for me to be here, and I'm going to do what it takes for us to win.
Don?
Do I hear him complaining about endorsing a $200 million check?
Yeah. In the immortal words of Dr. Evil, boo frickety hoo. I mean, they should have rules in place so that this doesn't happen. And I mean, come on, cry me a river. I mean, but for a guy performing the way he did yesterday with the sack and not having the benefit of a training camp, I mean, it's a nice weapon to have, albeit a very expensive one.
He played decently. I mean, I don't know what people expected of him coming out and not having an entire training camp and really only practicing for a week with the team and all the back stuff that was blown way out of proportion, I'm sure. Thought he played pretty well. But I think that game said more about who the Lions are not than who the Packers are. I mean, downplaying losing 2 of the best coordinators in the NFL, it's not easy to replace those guys. And I saw a stat a little bit earlier, and it said Jared Goff's record when not being coached or not having plays called for him by Sean McVay or Ben Johnson is 3-19-1.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow,
it's going to be interesting to see how that offense evolves this year with everything that they've done over the last couple of years. See if it was the players or see if it was Ben Johnson, and we'll see Ben Johnson tonight with the Monday Night Football. So
you know what I go back to? It's just heartbreaking because I love Dan Campbell. Correct me, Matt, because you remember short term. I can remember the 70s and every Heisman Trophy winner, but you remember
I wasn't alive then, so I don't remember this.
NFC Championship game, they had a huge lead.
The Lions?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, not that championship game. A couple years ago?
Yeah. It wasn't a championship game? You sure?
I was thinking last year when they lost. They had the 1 seed and they lost. No, it might have been the championship game 2 years ago.
2 years ago, championship game like 24-point lead or something.
Yeah, against the Niners.
Yeah. And they lose, and everybody's thinking the Lions are on their way up. This is just the stepping stone. And Dan Campbell went to the podium and said, I don't know. When these opportunities come, you don't know if they will ever come again. And since then, he's lost Johnson. He lost the Aggie.
Well, they were the
Terry
they were the 1 seed last year, and everyone was like, "This is their next stepping stone. This is their next step." And then they lost to the Commanders.
Aaron Glenn.
Then they lost to the Commanders in the divisional round, and it was like, well, what's going to happen now? We know Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are gone.
You're knocking on the door. You have a 24-point lead or whatever it was.
Yeah.
In the NFC Championship game, and you're that close. And then you see how they performed yesterday. You're like, are the Lions contenders? I don't know, man. That would be just heartbreak if they never got back.
One of the other takeaways I had is the AFC West, I think, is the best division in football. The Chargers were really, really impressive on Friday night. The Raiders played really well against the Patriots. I know it's the Patriots. The Chiefs are always the Chiefs. And the Broncos have the best defense in the NFL. They played like crap on offense yesterday with 4 turnovers and Bo Nix not looking like a seasoned pro like we should all expect him to at this point. But I think the AFC West is the best division of football and might have 4 playoff teams.
We'll see. We'll see what the Bears do tonight because if that team gets flipped, kind of like some of these other teams have done. I mean, Pete Carroll, that was a hell of a performance by the Raiders yesterday, right?
Very good.
Bring in your guy at quarterback, kind of mix and match. You lose a lot of key pieces in the offseason. A lot of people jumped off that boat, and they played very, very well yesterday.
Bob, do you want to give us 30 seconds of crying on the Browns, or do you just not want to talk about it?
I don't like the defense.
Offense was good too. I mean, they destroyed the Bengals on every bit of the game except for the scoreboard. It sucked. But
hard to win a game when you don't have
more
more
looked
points.
Fantastic. You see those 2 interceptions, but those were both that both hit receivers right in the hands and
bobbled.
Yeah, well, it was both on. Weren't they both Jerry Jeudy?
2 what?
Weren't they both Jerry Jeudy
and the other with Fannin,
Harold
who
Fannin.
looks fantastic.
Yeah,
that guy looks.
Well, that's a reason that he caught the most balls in Division I history in one season.
Oh, that's right. He was at
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green. That's right. I went to basketball camp there, by the way.
Nice.
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you where Bowling Green is on a map.
It's in
Bowling
Ohio.
Green, Ohio.
That's right.
Okay,
There you go.
you got me.
South Kentucky part of the state.
I don't want to be like UTSA and be happy about a loss like they were in week 1, but
Shots fired.
I really I was surprised by how well the offense performed, and they did it without a running game, which was crazy.
Well, you did score 16 points against the worst defense in the NFL from a year ago. So
They look good though.
they look good. All right, that's all we got. Anything else you guys got, guys?
No. Happy
All right.
football.
Happy football season. All right,
Yes,
we'll be back
things
on.
are better with football.
We'll be back on Thursday with more football and our high school preview of the week. It's a John Jay South San week, so looking forward to TNL this week. Everybody have a great one. We'll see you on Thursday.
Yeah.